Hey, and welcome to this, very different replay podcast episode for you. I've never done something like this before, and I'm really excited to share this with you because I always think that, I know you're busy. I know you have a lot going on. I know at the end of a long workday, you probably, like me, don't want to sit in front of a computer for like another hour, especially if you can listen to it on the go or like listen to it while you're walking or cooking or helping your kids. So whatever it is, I hope that this makes it a little bit easier. You'll have to let me know whether or not you like this format or something because I would love to do this for you again in the future, but I only know if it's helpful if you reach out and tell me. So welcome to this replay of my brand new training. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So let's get started. All right, welcome to 5 Steps to Legally Protect Your Online Business Before 2024 Ends. I can't believe we're almost at the end of 2024. It's wild. It's been a crazy year. Okay, in case we are new to each other's world, I'm Vander. I'm an attorney turned entrepreneur. I was a corporate litigator for over 5 years in Philadelphia, where I was born and raised. I've now been an attorney for over 12 years total. But in 2016, I left the law. I left the big law firm that I was working for. I was a business lawyer. I left and I started my own online health coaching business. I wanted to teach people how to cook. That was my main thing. Apparently the universe though had other plans for me. So I wanted to teach people how to cook, but instead my online phone rang off the hook with people asking me questions about legal stuff for online businesses. And I wasn't even offering it. Like I wasn't even really telling people that I was a lawyer. In early 2017, though, I took the signs. I finally decided to do something about it, and I shut down my health coaching business, and I launched Vander LLC, the business that you see today, to help online entrepreneurs legally protect their online businesses. Now, since 2017, I've helped over 350,000 online business owners learn how to get paid, get legit contracts in place, form their businesses, protect their content from online copycats, all the stuff that we're going to talk about today. So much. Yes, exactly. I'm also the host of the On Your Terms podcast, in case you like listening to podcasts. And I am probably most excited to share with you that I am the author of the upcoming book, When I Start My Business, I'll Be Happy, a practical, no BS guide to successful online entrepreneurship that gets released on April 15th, 2025. I am so excited. I can't believe it. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So yes, I'm going to share a little bit at the end if you have been interested in my book, how you can get a signed copy for free. Hopefully even a little early, but we'll see. When I started my online business though, I had no clue what I was doing when it came to like all the online business stuff, right? I knew the legal stuff, but I had to Google everything, right? I was buried. Tell me if this is you. I was completely buried under a mountain of free guides and checklists and even webinars like these, but about topics that I really had no business exploring yet, right? I even remember Googling things like, what is a landing page? What is an email list? Like I was so confused. I was like, is it a list somewhere? Like, where does this thing live? I seriously didn't know. I had no clue. I came into this completely new. I focused though from the beginning on building my foundation. Maybe it was the lawyer in me, I don't know. But I decided early on I wanted a very simple, straightforward product suite, right? I didn't want lots and lots of different offers and lots of different price points. I wanted simple, straightforward products. I also wanted a consistent marketing system that didn't rely on 24/7 social media, on putting out tons and tons of content, on doing all of this stuff, on tons of live launches. Like I didn't want to do all of that stuff. And that became especially true for me when I had brain surgery 4 weeks after I started my business. Then my dad got diagnosed with leukemia. I became his caregiver. My dad died. And then my mom died immediately after my mom. So I have learned how to build a business on the back of a lot of trauma, a lot of stress, but also in having to figure out how do I maximize the juice for the squeeze, right? And that's a lot of what, yes, I help everybody with the legal stuff, but a lot of my Ultimate Bundle members tell me they get so much out of me learning about this, about how I run my business, how I market things, especially given everything that I have gone through, right? I'm proud to say I've done all that without cold calls, cold DMs, calling people, loads of discounts and launches. In fact, this live webinar is only our second of the entire year. I don't even need to do these, but I like to do them because I like to hang out with you guys. So I've built my multi seven-figure business on a very simple evergreen platform. And the whole time I could do so sleeping tight at night, knowing that I had a solid legal and financial foundation for my business. I could then focus on doing what I love, which, if I'm being honest, is really the marketing part, but I'm probably supposed to say helping you legally protect your business, right? But I really, really, really love marketing. If you hang out with me for even 5 minutes, you will learn that. So, before I share all this knowledge you can use to get legally up to snuff today, I have to share with you one of the craziest, worst moments that I ever had on the business side as an entrepreneur. So, here was the deal. I was at WeWork in Philadelphia and I was sitting on an SEO meeting with my contractor, Melissa. And Melissa was like, "You're getting all of this traffic from this website called X, right?" And I was like, that's cool. I thought, especially the way that the name sounded, I thought that it was a business coach who was just sending me a lot of referrals. So I punch in the URL, up pops the person's website, and imagine my surprise when I see my website with her name on it. I see my customer testimonials, all of my clients' pictures, my products with the same exact descriptions. I see all of my blog posts, hundreds and hundreds of blog posts, every single thing from my business she had just taken and plopped onto her website and stolen from me. And she was another lawyer. That's always my favorite part of the story. She even had a link and a call to action encouraging people to join my very own Facebook community. I had a Facebook community at the time. It was really popular back then. And she was actually driving traffic to my own Facebook community. I can laugh about it now, but I was not laughing about it then. It turns out that another lawyer trying to start a legal templates business at the time stole my website. How she did it is a whole thing, but you can imagine what happened next. I cried like a baby. I was so upset. I called my friend Simi, and then my attorney pants kicked in and I got to work. Within an hour, I had her site taken down. Within a few hours, I had a letter out the door, the attorney herself on the phone begging me not to sue her, and the problem ultimately resolved, right? I know what you're thinking though. You're like, yeah, right. You're a lawyer, right? Of course you knew what to do, but what would I do? What would you do? I mean, tell me in the comments, would you do you feel really confident on a scale from 1 to 10? How confident do you feel if that happened to you that you could do something about it? Yeah, I'm with you, Glenda. I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have known either. Nope. I'm seeing a lot of zeros or low numbers. I see some negatives. Yes, exactly. I wouldn't have known either, right? If we could reverse back to before I graduated from law school, I would have no clue. I swear to you, though, that in that moment, I swore that I would never let you feel the way that I felt in that moment because I didn't want other online business owners to have to go through that moment in their business and you feel so robbed, so violated, so cheated, you're so angry, right? All the things, very valid. But what would be even worse than that, I couldn't imagine, was if you were to experience that and then not know what to do about it. And so I made sure that from that point forward, my mission is to make sure that you don't ever have to worry about what the heck to do again. Now that you're here, now that you're part of my community, you don't ever have to worry about that. This stuff definitely doesn't just happen to me. I mean, probably happens to lawyers even less so than all of you. Listen to some of the scary legal moments that my customers have experienced before they join the Ultimate Bundle. So Annie here, Annie Miller, you guys might know, is a fitness coach and a business coach. She was done with clients pushing boundaries, asking for refunds, and worrying if they were getting inspired by her content, right? Chloe from Deeper Than Money had grown her money coaching business really fast, but then she realized she wasn't confident that she'd built what she was like she had already built. She hadn't protected what she had built. And so she was a little worried about like taking the next step. Christina Gabalto, who you might know, watched someone she was friendly with online steal parts of her signature course and sell it as their own. They even tried telling her that they couldn't remember where they got it from. That's always my favorite part. Crazy. These are all real situations that have happened to me, my customers, my friends, but tell me in the chat, are you worried about any of this stuff happening to you too? You worried somebody's going to lift your content? Maybe this has kept you from putting yourself out there. Yeah, I know for me, after that person stole my website, I was very nervous to move forward. Absolutely. So luckily for you, the 5 steps that I'm going to teach you today will help you set the legal foundation to protect yourself, your business's money, your sanity, and hopefully your future. I like to protect things very holistically from all sides. And so today we're going to talk about each of these in turn. All right. So here's what we're going to learn today. The mindset shift, step number one, will be the mindset shift that you have to make when it comes to legally protecting your business. I'll give you a little hint, a little preview. It's where you're going, not where you are right now, that matters. And I tend to find that most entrepreneurs are focused on the wrong one. Step number two is how registering the right business entity and acting like a business online protects your personal assets. Step three is all about what you must get in place ASAP so you don't owe a dime if you get sued. So that'll be all about protecting your moolah. Step number four is how proper contracts and policies can totally save your vegan bacon. And step number five is the real key to staying legally protected. It's knowing what you can legally do in your business. That's when we'll talk about scope of practice. Sound good? All right, let's do it. Yes, this is also applicable to e-commerce businesses and coaching businesses. Anybody who's online is welcome here today. I help everyone from e-coaching, that could be a new thing, from online coaching to e-commerce businesses, service providers, professionals who are kind of converting into coaches or having both. So all of it. Yep, affiliate marketing, the whole thing. I'm going to go into each one in detail. I was just giving you an overview. All right. Now, tell me, how would your life change and how would your business change, which would ultimately affect your life if you knew your content in your business were legally protected? What would it do for you? I want you to imagine that feeling when you've got your legal foundation rock solid and you can finally focus on building and serving your community. Like, what could you focus on instead? Remember, I told you earlier, I could build my online business so that because I knew I had the legal stuff, and so I could focus on doing what I love, which, if I was being honest, is marketing, but I feel like I have to say legal. Yeah. So what would you be able to focus on instead? So Heather says a lot more products would be on her website. Yeah. Janet, security and being totally transparent. Yes, exactly. So there's so much more that we can focus on. Creating art. Yeah, your actual art. Focus on product and content creation. Yeah, I love this. I mean, notice nobody's saying like, I want to focus on the legal stuff, right? Unless you're a lawyer, and then I don't get why you're here. But, yeah, marketing and outreach. I'm with you, Julie. Digital products, Jacqueline's saying. You're probably wondering then, okay, where do I start? I sound like I want a little bit of that peace of mind. Let's hop in. The mindset shift that you've got to make when it comes to legally protecting your business. All right, so for the past several months, I've been training at the gym to do a pull-up, like a full pull-up, all the way from the bottom, all the way up, right? It's really hard. I work out pretty much every day, but I had this idea to do a pull-up a long time ago, but I was waiting to try a pull-up until I could do it, which when I say out loud doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to do a pull-up, I have to just start doing pull-ups, right? I have to start taking the steps. You do like scapular retractions, then you just start doing like a chin up, or you do it with the assisted band or on the assisted machine. You take steps and you progress and you get closer to it. But instead, I was sitting there waiting until like the day that I would be able to do a pull-up is I would just like hop up on the bar and pull myself up, right? Doesn't make much sense. Your thoughts are impacting your actions. I know, obvious statement of the century. This is true, right? We have to stop believing though that this whole business thing that you're working on might not work out. If we're being honest, how many of us sitting here are kind of hedging our bets and saying this whole business thing might not actually work out, so I'm going to protect myself, like whether you know it or not, right? You might be doing this subconsciously. We need to actually start planning for it to work out. So instead of sitting here and being like, it might not work out, so I'm going to make all of my decisions from a place of this might not work, so this is how I'll respond. We have to instead shift into a place, this is going to work out. So if I knew this was working out, this is what I would do instead. A business that works out needs legal protection. You know what I mean? It's true, right? You have to start acting like the business that you envision in order for it to become your reality. I said this in an email to my email list recently, and people responded back and were like, yes, that's exactly it, right? You have to start acting like the business you envision for it to become a reality. So when we talk about legally protecting your business, and this is really big because we can sit here and I can tell you about contracts and LLCs all day long, but I am telling you, this is super, super important. This point and the very final step we're going to talk about, I honestly think are the most important. Because if we don't change our mindset around these things, nothing else is going to change. So when it comes to legally protecting your business, we are setting ourselves up for current and future success by putting ourselves in the best position possible. We're protecting where you're headed, not where you are today, right? So a lot of people sit here and they say, oh, my business is a little small now, or I don't have tons of money now, I don't have tons of clients now. That's not the business that needs protecting. It's right. We're thinking about where we're headed. We're betting on this working out. And if we bet on that working out, we're like, oh yeah, I would need a contract because like I'm gonna get clients. I would need a contract because my online course is gonna start selling. I would need a contract because people are gonna start buying my stuff on Etsy, right? So we need to start shifting into that mindset, not waiting, just like me with the pull-ups. We can't wait for the sales to come in and then go, oh, I'm a real business. I gotta get my legal stuff in order. No, because you'll never get there, right? Real businesses have this foundation set. You know what I mean? Okay, tell me if this makes sense in the comments. I think it does. My examples I put here were like, when I started my business, I never envisioned having a podcast. I never envisioned getting a Big 5 book deal, right? That was like a major, major dream of mine. Never ever thought it would happen. I didn't think it was for people like me, right? So when I started my business though, I got all the stuff in place and was like, this business is going to work out. So I don't really know where it's headed, but having my stuff in place is what allowed my business to grow in that direction. It's what allowed 41,000 people to be on my email list. It's what allowed me to get a book deal, right? Having those things in place allowed me to grow my business enough. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's cool, Janet, that you're considering a book. That's awesome. So, in other words, we're future-proofing our businesses, as I like to call it. And where you're headed, you will need legal protection. In fact, I actually would make the argument, I am a lawyer after all, so I can make arguments, but I would argue that legal protection can actually get you there, right? How? Well, there are immediate benefits to getting legal stuff in place. So often people write to me and they're like, Sam, I want to make sure that I never get sued, right? But in reality, with the hundreds of thousands of people that I've worked with online, I've answered emails and DMs and all that kind of stuff, right? I will tell you, it's the day-to-day stuff that you should be quote unquote worried about. If you're in my orbit, you don't need to be worried about it because we'll cover it and it's not a big deal and we just move on and you'll get back to doing more of what you love, right? But the things that you need to be aware of are getting paid on time, people actually showing up to their appointments, people not returning products after they weren't supposed to, protecting your IP, looking and actually being professional so you attract the right clients and customers, setting clear boundaries so people aren't walking all over you, right? All that kind of stuff is what happens when you have legal stuff in place. Liz, one of our Ultimate Bundle members, said she felt a huge weight lifted off her shoulders, knowing she was protected, and she was able to refine her scope of practice with her online course, which just made her feel so much more confident to put it out there. Liz said she didn't realize how much it was holding her back until now, right? Maybe you can relate. Yeah. All right, now let's talk about registering your business. And I want you to promise me something. Tell me in the comments if you promise. I want you to listen to this step, even if you've already registered your business, because I bet you I'm going to share something in a second that you don't know, even if you already have an LLC. So give me a promise. Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Angie is on it. All right. So we want to separate you from your business so that if and when something is a problem, only your business's assets are at risk, right? That's really the goal with registering your business, right? So every step that we talk about today is going to have a goal. And the goal of registration is to have you over here and Carrie over here, or you over here and Angie over here, right? We want separation, nice, clean separation. The reason you want that separation is because if someone ever sues your business, you want only your business to be responsible, what lawyers would call liable, right? So we only want your business to be liable. We want you to be off the hook personally. Because what that means is that anything that you personally own, like a bank account, a house, a car, any other asset, right? Anything that your name is attached to, a joint bank account, a jointly held piece of property, we want that off limits, right? Don't we? I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. Yeah. So you absolutely want to make sure that your business is registered properly because we want to make sure that you personally are protected. This whole concept, what I'm talking about, is called personal liability protection. So the point of registering your business the right way is to get personal liability protection. Now, in general, we're going to talk about like the main kinds of business registry and all this kind of stuff. But the main process looks like this. To register your business here in America, you register in the state where you live or work. Then you do so by choosing an entity type. Now, this is where most people go sideways. Okay. So you choose a business entity type, and most people in online businesses choose between an LLC and a sole proprietorship, right? But there also are things like corporations, partnerships, and other kinds of business entities. Business entities are just like house structures. That's the way that I always explain this. So when you're choosing a business entity type, you're really choosing the structure of your business's home. And that structure has certain limitations, rights, and responsibilities. In other words, each type of business entity has certain pros and cons, right? And there are certain limitations to each one that maybe you can't do. Like, for example, you can't start a partnership. You can't register your business as a partnership if you only have one owner, right? So there's like certain things like that. Or you couldn't register a sole proprietorship if you had a business partner, if you own two people. So there's certain like limitations like that, which are just easy and straightforward. Others are more like pros and cons, like tax advantages, difficulty of filing, fees, that kind of stuff, right? So we choose our business entity type, we file, and pretty much every state requires forms and fees. Pretty much every state is also online. Every state is online. You can file online. It's relatively easy, and I do believe most people can do it themselves. Of course, you don't have to. I teach you how to do that, but you don't have to. When you do all that, when you file your forms, file your fees, you get business documentation. It depends where you live. It might be articles of formation or something like that, but you get official documentation from the state, and hooray, your business is registered. It's as easy as that. It's super, super easy. So, like I said, most people come down to choosing between a sole proprietorship and an LLC. And this is where I said to you, I want you to promise me that you're going to explain, that you're going to hang in there, even if you already have registered as an LLC, because I'm going to share something with you about LLCs that you might not know. A sole proprietorship is one of the business entity types that a lot of solo entrepreneurs start with because it's super easy. It's really basic, right? It can only be owned by one person. It has the zero liability protection, zero personal liability protection. So remember at the beginning when I said to you, the point of registering your business is to have that personal liability protection and to personally separate yourself from your business. This gives you none of it, right? So if you get a sole proprietorship, you don't have anything, right? That means that all of your personal assets are fair game. Now, yes, it's basic, it's easier, a little easier depending on your state, depends, and it's cheaper and sometimes can be more significantly cheaper depending on where you live, like California, but it depends, but there is a big risk, right? There's a big downside. So that is why a lot of people choose LLCs instead. LLC, which stands for limited liability company, is just another kind of business entity. So it's another kind of business structure that you're choosing between. When you have an LLC, unlike a sole proprietorship, you can own it by yourself or you can own it with business partners. It doesn't matter. And with an LLC comes what we call limited personal liability protection. Now, remember I said if you have an LLC, then you want to pay attention. This is where I want to talk to you. Okay, so this is called limited personal liability protection for a reason. One is because not all states in America offer limited personal liability protection to sole-owned LLCs, what we call single-member LLCs. So if you own an LLC by yourself in a handful of states, that state will not offer you the same protection as it might offer me in New York, right? So that's very state dependent. The second thing is, second reason why this is called limited, why the word limited is there, and it's called limited personal liability protection, is because it's not absolute, right? So you do not get an LLC and then get to do whatever the heck you want, right? So I hear and see a lot of bad behavior online, and that is like, well, I can do whatever I want because I have an LLC. Or I hear it also about contracts where it's like, oh, I'm a coach, but I do whatever I want. And don't worry because my contract says that they understand I'm not a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. That's not how the legal system works, right? And that's not how LLCs work either. One of the reasons that it's called limited personal liability protection is because you actually have to act like an LLC properly in order to get the coverage from your LLC that you think you have, right? So a lot of times people will say to me, oh, I don't need you. I don't need the ultimate bundle, or I don't need this thing or whatever, even to come to this class because I have an LLC. And they'll be like, cool, do you have contracts? No. Or like, do you have business insurance? No. Well, your website doesn't even say that you like your business name, like how mine is on the bottom of the webinar. Like you don't advertise you have an LLC. Do you have a DBA for that to drop the moniker? No. Okay, well then you actually probably don't get the LLC coverage that you think. Same with money. If you commingle your money, your business's money and your personal money, we can do what's called piercing the corporate veil to go after an LLC owner and go after them personally, right? So it's very important that you not just have an LLC, but you know how to act like an LLC. That's a lot of what we're talking about today. It's also a lot of what I teach people, obviously, and a lot of what is afforded by having like the proper contracts and the proper policies in place. But you need to have your stuff in order. Just having an LLC is not enough. Definitely not. Now, with an LLC, like I said, if the limited personal liability protection works properly, like you're acting right, you're acting as an LLC, you're doing things on behalf of your LLC properly, then theoretically only the company's assets are fair game, right? So that's why we want LLCs. So when you have an LLC, everything you do in your business should be between your LLC and your client, or your LLC and your customer, the purchaser, right? Like your contracts, your website policies, your business insurance policy, all your transactions, all your banking, right? Everything. By building a barrier between you personally and your business, you're maintaining that personal liability protection that the LLC entitles you to. So having an LLC is not the end of the story. You need to act like an LLC. We want to maintain this personal business separation. We want our personal money and our business money separate. We want contracts in the name of our LLC. We want detailed and clean financial records. No like putting business charges on your personal card and trying to work it all out in between. Nope, none of that. You can legally you cannot do that as an LLC and still get the protection from it. And generally speaking, we need to make it clear that you have an LLC, that you are a business, right? All right, so T-sip break, I'm checking in. Are you getting excited about how simple it can be to grow a legally protected business? Give me a yes in the comments. So yes, thanks, CJ. Awesome, thank you, thank you. Okay, oh wow, oh, that's lots of you. This chat doesn't even keep up. This is awesome. Yeah, it's simple, I swear, it's simple. Simple, just hang in with me, all right? Step number 3. What you must get in place ASAP so you don't owe a dime if you ever get sued, right? My goal is to teach you how to avoid that as much as humanly possible, but you can't control other people. So step number 3 is all about what you have to get in place ASAP if you don't want to owe a dime, if anything ever happened. This is where we're talking about protecting your business's money, right? So we just spoke about how to protect you personally, right? I think off the jump, we talked about how to protect your boundaries with shifting more into a mindset of like, I'm going to plan for this thing to work out and I'm going to start taking steps to move forward. I'm going to get the legal stuff in place. That's going to start protecting your boundaries. Getting your business registered is what's going to protect you personally and separate you from liability. But now that I've taught you how to separate yourself personally and make you not personally responsible for what happens in your business would be responsible for what happens, right? So if someone sued you, they'd be suing your business. Who here wants their business to be financially responsible for a lawsuit? Nobody. I know I wouldn't, right? So we definitely don't want to do that. We want to instead get business insurance. Now, business insurance is what financially protects you in a lawsuit because it provides you with a lawyer. It pays the lawyer's bills, and then it pays for the settlement or judgment against you. Even if you have business insurance, I want you to pay attention because a lot of times people don't have the right kind. And often when people come to me, they find out like, oh, I thought I had what I needed, but I didn't. And then you're just wasting money. What kind of business insurance do you need? So business insurance is a very general term. There's like about a dozen different kinds of business insurance, but typically there are 2 main kinds that we're talking about here, and I'm going to break them down for you. Which one you need often depends on what you do, how you sell things, how much coverage you want, how big your business is, right? Like I started out very, very basic. I had very basic insurance, didn't have a lot. Then as my business grew, as we started processing thousands of transactions a year, then, more and more and more. So I believe very firmly, like, believe it or not, even though I'm a lawyer, even though I've done this a long, long time, I really don't preach anything crazy. Like I really believe in getting a very simple setup to start. Like I think people come to me thinking that I'm gonna tell you you have to do a million things and get a million pieces of paper in place. Really is like 3 or 4 very basic things. And then I'm a big fan of adding on. So I'm a big fan of getting a foundation and adding on. So the most foundational type of business insurance is professional liability. Some of you, I think, might have referred to it as malpractice. That's often people will call it that, but what it really is, if you're not a licensed professional, is professional liability insurance. It's otherwise known as E&O, which stands for errors and omissions. People call it all different things. It's all the same thing. Professional liability insurance covers mistakes that are made in your services and offers. So you're a health coach, you're coaching a client, they end up getting injured or having a health reaction, they sue you. That's the kind of insurance that steps in, right? Or you sell something and it burns somebody, that's the kind of insurance. Or it has product liability insurance, like that's the kind that steps in, right? The second most popular, it's not always needed, it's not needed by everyone, but the second most popular type is called commercial general liability, otherwise known as CGL. And that covers bodily injury and property damage to someone else. So, and it also can cover libel and slander. Some people have this when you have like you teach classes in a studio or something like that, right? Like it's not always, depending on what you do and how you do it, it's not always needed. So let's share a quick little fact here. Fun fact, and anybody else know this? Legal protection only works from now moving forward. So you don't get backdated legal protection once you get it in place. Did you know that? So a lot of people will say to me like, oh, I'm going to wait to get legal protection in place until I get bigger, but it doesn't work backwards. It only works forwards. So if you wait a year from now to get legal protection and a client that you worked with today sues you, you're not covered. Your business insurance won't cover you. Your LLC won't cover you if you didn't get it. You're not covered, right? So it's very important to actually get these things in place before stuff happens. All right, let's move into step number 4. Who's ready for step number 4? I am. I love talking about contracts. So attorney prepared contracts and policies prevent the wrong kind of people from working with you in the first place. So a lot of times people will say to me like, I don't want to get contracts in place because I'm afraid it's going to scare somebody off. Does anybody feel that? Like you're worried that you're so small right now. Like if you ask somebody to sign a contract, they're going to get freaked out and run, right? Yeah, I would tell you if somebody runs because you ask them to sign a very legitimate contract, you should wave to them and as they walk out the door. It's totally okay. Yeah. So contracts set clear boundaries. They prevent awkward conversations. They prevent you from even having to have those conversations in the first place. They also prevent you from having to create rules on the fly or not knowing how to navigate a sticky situation, right? So you have to remember as you start and grow your business, you have a lot to do, right? I'm the first one to tell you, like you have a ton on your plate. I have a ton on my plate, and I'm 8 years in, right? You don't have the capacity, and if you do, if you have the time, this is not how you should be spending it, to be handling one-off issues with everybody. Like, oh, this person wants a refund. Oh, this girl keeps canceling her calls. Oh, this person wants to return this product. You can't be handling that. That is a good way to stay in a swirl of crapola, as my grandfather would have said, and never move forward because you won't be able to get out of all the muck to actually focus on building your business because you're going to be too stuck in just like doing all the same stuff all the time. We can't do that. We don't have time for that. So we need you to have the legal stuff set up so that you can just quickly point to your contracts, point to your policy, have people on your team eventually, or if you have someone now, do that for you because we can't be handling every one-off situation. I also like that contracts set out the terms of our work together, nice and neat, super easy to read, and specific to what you do, right? That's the best part about it. Which contracts do you actually need? It depends on what you do, right? I have like probably 20 contracts available that I offer because there's all these different scenarios. Here are a couple of the main ones, right? If you want to tell me in the comments like you're not sure what you need for which scenario that you do, I can try to answer that. So a client contract is the one that you would use with any one-on-one client work, consulting, anything like that. A group coaching contract, I think that one's self-explanatory. Terms of use is the kind of contract that you use to sell a course or a membership or a digital product. So this is what you would put at checkout when you need to have, people are going to be purchasing something and you're not involved in the purchase of it. This is what we would use. An affiliate agreement is a good example of one where people use affiliate agreements when they have to, they're going to create an affiliate program, or you have maybe a collaboration contract if you want to collaborate with another person or something like that, right? You also need 3 website policies on your website, or if you don't have a website yet and you're just using something like a landing page, you would use these as well, right? So when I say website, I really mean any page that you're going to use online, especially if you're going to have opt-ins on that page. If you're going to have people opting in to get a freebie, join your email list, purchase something, you need these. So the 3 website policies are a website terms and conditions, a website disclaimer, and a privacy policy. I'll go through each of them, all right? First and foremost is the terms and conditions. So terms and conditions, so it goes on your website. It tells people kind of the rules of using your site, of navigating it, of clicking links so that you're not liable for what happens when they go to other people's websites, third-party disclaimers, affiliate disclaimers. This is where we're also putting your intellectual property and sharing policies, amongst other things. Your website disclaimer is what tells people who you are and what you do, because you're asking to not be held legally liable. Essentially, a website disclaimer is saying, use at your own risk and be smart about it. That's essentially what a website disclaimer legally tells other people. And your privacy policy is actually legally required by federal law and now by a series of international laws like the GDPR from the European Union that requires you to have a privacy policy on any site that collects people's personal information. Personal information is defined as any combination of like your name and email, birthday, address, like any one of those things alone qualifies as personal information. You're required to have it. It's required to say certain things. It's required to say certain things about California. It's required to say certain things about the GDPR and the European Union. So it is not just enough to have some slop put together and put something up. It actually has to say something. If you ever run Facebook ads like I do, you have to have a privacy policy on every website that you run ads to, or they will actually remove your ads. So these are things that actually come in handy. Contracts are the written proof that you'll need in order to collect any skipped or missed payments, to defend yourself if you're accused of doing or not doing something by a client, and to set clear boundaries with your clients when they ask for something that wasn't promised at the outset. Remember how I said you won't have to get into awkward conversations? That'll be nice, right? So instead, you would just say like, hey, remember the contract says that this is included, or the contract said this. So that's why you want to. For Etsy, I saw some questions in the comments about selling e-commerce products or things on Etsy. I actually just recently added a shop policy template to the Ultimate Bundle where I created shop policies for you, because I really think you should have your own. At the very least, you should pay something onto your Etsy shop like a lot of Etsy owners do, but you really want your own thing, because it's not enough to use the ones that are from places like Etsy or Shopify. Oftentimes, the terms that are provided for you on checkout by a company when you go to sell on their site, it actually covers them, not you. So this is true for all of you who have an online course, or you use something like Thinkific or Kajabi or something like that. The terms that are provided for you for free are A, super generic, B, don't cover you, and C, usually cover them, not you. In fact, one of my favorite things, because I always hear from people saying, hey, why can't I use this company's like free, terms that they provided at checkout? And I go and look at them. They actually have an indemnification clause in them that forces the liability onto you if something happens. So you're actually taking on responsibility instead of like reflecting it, deflecting it. So it's really important that you have your own stuff. More than anything, you don't want to just have a contract. You need your contracts to be enforceable. That's really what's key. Copied and pasted contracts are not enforceable because they're usually missing key provisions that you need in order to enforce them. All right, so quick check-in. Are you seeing how having these simple legal pieces in place would make you so clear, protected, and confident? Give me a yes in the comments if this is it. Yeah. Okay, it's getting better, right? I think I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. So let's get into step number 5. Remember I said this is, I think, arguably the most important. We want to talk about the real key to staying legally protected. It's knowing what you can do in your business legally, right? So this is what you've heard referred to as scope of practice. All right. So scope of practice is what you can and can't do, teach, talk about, sell, etc., based on how you're qualified, educated, certified, or licensed. Every state is different because every state defines this for themselves, right? Every state defines like what a therapist can do or what a doctor can do. Every state defines this differently. And if your state doesn't define what you do, you want to make sure that you're not doing something that only a professional can do that they have defined, right? Does that make sense? So have some of you looked into scope of practice before? Have you been wondering? Maybe it's part of why you came here today. Have you thought about scope of practice before? You can let me know. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so scope of practice is very important because scope of practice is all about doing what you say and saying what you do and nothing less. So a lot of people will do the second part, right? They will send out a contract that says, you understand I'm not your doctor, lawyer, dentist, physical therapist, like all the licensed professions. They'll say that in their contract, but then what they will actually do in practice is the unauthorized practice of medicine, law, accounting, money management, like whatever, right? Legal documents, though, will not get you out of legal trouble if you do things outside your scope of practice. So having legal documents that say, she knew I wasn't her doctor, like it says here in the contract, I'm not your doctor, or it says I'm not her therapist, even though I am a therapist, that won't get you out of it if what you're doing is actually the practice of therapy or medicine or law, right? We need to make sure that these things are consistent. Now, for those of you, I know there are a lot of you here today, you can let me know in the chat. I know there are a lot of you here today who have a professional license, right? Maybe you're a therapist, a doctor, a nurse, an RD, right? And you're trying to start an online business that allows you to be virtual, allows you to work with people anywhere, or maybe you want to sell an online course or a digital product of some sort. If you're trying to start one of those kinds of businesses, your scope of practice then is only what a coach could do or online creator, whatever you want to call it, right? That's your scope of practice. Protecting your license means not relying on it. It's a very careful balance. And if you're going to go do those things, you essentially have the same scope as everyone else. And you need to be careful how you word things, what the copy is on your website, how you carry yourself on social media. This is a lot of what I do personally, right? In my own business. Obviously, I'm a lawyer who teaches legal stuff for online businesses, but it's also a lot of what I teach in the Ultimate Bundle. So this is what I talk about a lot. Okay, let's review. Who's ready for review time? I'm ready for review time. Yeah, Brittany said an example is that I'm a lawyer, but I don't act like a lawyer. I would say I'm a lawyer, but I don't act like your lawyer. That's the only way that I would change it, right? Because I probably act like a lawyer, like I talk about legal stuff, but I don't act like I'm somebody's lawyer. I don't act like I'm my client's lawyer, like anything like that. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw there are nurses, holistic nutritionists, lots. Yeah, this is awesome. This is really good. All right. So far we have learned to focus on where you're headed. Let me know which one of these was like the most impactful to you. I love hearing about what was most helpful. We learned about focusing on where you're headed and not where you are now when it comes to legal protection. So because we've learned that we got to start acting like we're already headed there, and we start making decisions like that instead of making decisions like, I don't know if I'm going to make it, so I'm just going to sit here and like stew and wait, because that doesn't work, right? We learned that registering the right kind of business entity protects your personal assets, and the proper contracts and policies can totally save your vegan bacon. We learn what your website needs to be legally protected and how to know what you can legally do and teach. That's your scope of practice. And we also learned that you need legal protection before you're ready because you don't get that backdated protection that sometimes people think. Now, you told me at the start you're here today because you've tried already figuring out this stuff on your own, but now you're looking for a trained professional to just hand you a roadmap, right? You said you wish you could get the legal piece taken care of so you can focus on doing the work you love. and that you want to grow an amazing business without wasting any more time Googling answers to legal questions that are just leaving you freaked out. So I could not be happier to share with you that now is your time. It is time to stop hoping that the universe will protect your business just because you have good intentions. And it is time to stop the Google and cross my fingers charade for good. Who's ready to do that? It's your time to get legally protected and stop looking over your shoulder, wondering if anybody else will notice that you maybe kind of sort of copy and pasted their privacy policy. Whoops. And it's time to get legally protected with a proven step-by-step system. Now, this is impossible just for an attorney like me. My customers don't have legal backgrounds or particularly fancy skills when it comes to the legal stuff. They've just used my foolproof legal templates and my system to legitimize their businesses. And if they could do it, I swear you can too. Thousands of coaches, service providers, and makers just like you have used my legal templates and my trainings to get legally up to snuff and breathe a gigantic sigh of relief, like Fueling Financial Freedom, who said that the Ultimate Bundle has been the greatest investment in her business thus far. I hear this a lot, people sharing that if you want the Ultimate Bundle, this is it. It's the cheapest form of instant relief I've ever bought. This person had shared that they are deeply grateful for this offer to take the legal stuff seriously, and that fear had been holding them back because they had people rip off their work and their language, and they were not moving their businesses forward, right? Karen said, I'm only halfway through all the legal stuff, and I've already had it save me from a client who I think would have turned into a bad situation. So today, I'm very, very excited to tell you that I am inviting you to download all of the legal templates and trainings that you need inside of the Ultimate Bundle, my bestseller. That is, these templates and trainings are the next step to growing a successful and profitable business. This is the exact program and templates that you need in order to legitimize your business, onboard clients properly, hire contractors and eventually employees, get paid, boldly grow the business of your dreams, and get the support of a lawyer for your business. Now, I see real results with the Ultimate Bundle. Haley here had shared that she was so excited to finally commit to the Ultimate Bundle. She had been considering it for a long time, and she had been a personal trainer for 8 years, but she jumped into starting her own online training business, and she couldn't tell us how much relief she felt having the contracts put together and how easy it was to do. I hear this a lot too. The person on the right had shared with me that she had put this off for a long time, but she said, holy moly, the energy I had after this huge hurdle that I had been avoiding became an easy step, and I felt like the coach I wanted to be, and wouldn't you know it, I got 2 more clients later that day. All right, let's look at what's inside the Ultimate Bundle really quickly, and then I want to get to all of your questions. So what is inside the bundle? You get 14 of my core legal templates. They're downloadable, fill in the blank, super easy to use. I'll show you which ones are inside. 14 of my legal template video tutorials, because every single legal template comes with a walkthrough video tutorial. 35 video lessons where I break down everything I'm about to tell you about in a second. Lifetime of the program access. It means I don't kick you out. You have as much time as you need to figure it out and to keep going in. You can download things as much as you need. Updated templates and trainings at no cost. You get access to a private member-only community for support from me, direct access to me in that community, plus you can always email me and be in my inbox, exclusive access to additional workshops and Q&A sessions, my monthly member-only bundle newsletter, and a big, big discount and bonuses that are good for the next few days only. All right, so the 14 legal templates that are inside, I should actually say 14 because we actually just added the shop policy and template for you, so I'll show you in a sec. The client contract, the terms of use, which is that one for courses, memberships, and digital products, the website disclaimer, privacy policy, website terms and conditions, so that means you get all 3 of those website policies, independent contractor agreement, so that's when you use to hire people in your business as contractors, group coaching contract, your mini disclaimer, which is what goes in your content, your shop policy for product sellers, an affiliate agreement to run your own affiliate program so other people can make money for selling your stuff and grow your network, a testimonial release and guide to get your clients' feedback, but so that you can share it online, a retreat contract, a copywriter contract, and a social media manager contract. Plus, like I mentioned, you get a how-to video tutorial with each and every template to help fill it out in 15 minutes or less. I'll walk you through in these step-by-step tutorials how to fill in the blanks, explaining what the legal language means in English, and to just further break it down so you can customize it and explain it to anyone who ever asks you questions about it. This is super important because in these walkthrough video tutorials, all you're doing is filling in your personal information. I've done all the legal writing for you, so you're not doing any of that. Now, let's break down what's inside those 35 on-demand videos that I told you about. So module number 1 is all about forming your business. I teach you how to register, get an LLC, break down the LLC sole prop even further, teach you what to do after you get an LLC, and teach you about how to get an EIN number and your local registration requirements. In module 2, I teach you all about money and business insurance. So I teach you how to get business bank accounts set up, get your business insurance, even give you the list of questions to take to a business insurance agent, teach you how to find a business insurance agent, and give you my best recommendations. I teach you also how to take payments properly. Module number 3 is all about websites and social media. I teach you how to utilize your website policies, GDPR, legalize your website copy, and build your email list. In module number 4, I teach you about how to send and sign contracts properly, how to onboard clients, how to read contracts that you have to sign, and how to work with minors if you even can. Module number 5 is all about working with clients. So those are your one-to-one clients, your group programs, selling courses and memberships, what to do if a client doesn't pay, and scope of practice for coaches or people who want to be coaches. So all those of you who mentioned you have a professional license, that's the training you need to watch. Module number 6, I teach you all about copyrights and trademarks. I got something really big for you about copyrights and trademarks in a sec, so just hang in there. Module number 7 is all about scaling and growing. So it's how to hire independent contractors, what an S Corp is, how to get an S Corp, small business taxes, and how to run an affiliate program. So after getting the Ultimate Bundle, you'll be able to quickly and easily complete your contracts and website policies on the fly. You'll confidently create and promote new products and services knowing you're protected. You can hire and scale without fear, and you can breathe easy knowing you've got legal help in your business's corner. And now what you've all been waiting for, bonuses. I got some really awesome bonuses for you. Okay, so bonus number 1, I'm going to give you $400 off the Ultimate Bundle if you pay in full, $384 off if you do the 12-pay plan. The 12-pay plan is only available from this sale, so you want to hang in there and listen more for a sec. Okay, bonus number 2, if you enroll by this Wednesday, so it's the 30th, but this Wednesday at midnight Eastern, you get a live Q&A call with me in November. It's a free chance to pick my brain. So for all the people who send me DMs asking if you can pick my brain, now's your time. And you do get a replay as well. Bonus number 3 is that you get 3 additional legal templates added to your template pack. Okay, so you'll get podcast guest contract, a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, and the collaboration contract templates. You get all 3 of those added for free. You have to enroll by this Wednesday at midnight. You'll also get a welcome bonus for the first 10 people who pay in full. I'm really excited about this. We've never done this before. I'm very excited. So the first 10 people who can pay in full get a signed copy of my book, When I Start My Business, I'll Be Happy, when it comes out April 15th. You get my favorite journal, and this is like a nice journal because I like nice stuff. And you get 1 month of the Java Method membership with my mindset coach, Jen Diaz. I'm so excited. Bonus number 4 that is available all the way through the sale. The sale in general goes until Friday, but the bonuses I just talked about will expire on Wednesday. Bonus number 4 are the video trainings, how I file my trademarks and how I file my copyright. So this was a video training I did where in real time I file a copyright and a trademark and show you how to do it on your own if you want to. It's not even available for purchase. Bonus number 5 is an email training called How I Write Emails That Create Customers. You can go behind the scenes of my weekly email Sam sidebar so you can learn my strategies for converting my 41,000 readers into customers. Yeah. Okay, so you can click the link in the chat to get instant access and lock in your discount and bonuses, or you can head to ultimatebundle.co to buy now if you don't want to click the link in the chat. But you can go to ultimatebundle.co or click the link in the chat to join the Ultimate Bundle now. Are you ready to protect and grow this business that you're working so hard to build? You're probably wondering what the investment is to join the Ultimate Bundle. I don't blame you. Let's get into it. Okay. So if you asked your attorney to draft all these templates for you, spend hours training to cover every step of legally establishing your business, you'd be looking at well over $10,000, right? The actual retail value of all the trainings and templates in the program and these bonus offers are over $7,000. Beyond the value, though, of the training and the templates you'll get, when it comes to the value of a legally protected, profitable business, the sky is seriously the limit for you. Now, there are two payment options available. This 12 payment plan is not available outside the sale. The one-time payment is $19.99, and there's a 12 payment plan of 12 payments of $197 a month. So it means you pay $197 today, and then you have 11 additional payments of $197, spaced about a month apart each. And those payments are not optional. It's not a subscription. It can't be canceled. So all 12 payments are required, but you can pay over those 12 months. So that's great. And there's no prepayment, like you can, no prepayment penalty. You can hop on and prepay or pay the end of it off. Okay, so I know you can grow a strong, stable business once you've got the legal foundation that the bundle will give you, but I also know you might have some doubts. So you might be thinking like, I don't need to invest in legal support for my business yet. Like I'm too early, right? Simone had said that when she started with the bundle, when she signed up for it, and it's worth every penny, she was so nervous, right? And it was like a guiding light that was able to light her path and able to walk down it. She's learned all the things like that she needed for her website, and she also learned stuff about owning an online coaching business. Simone says you cannot afford to not get the ultimate bundle, that it's been everything you need to get started in your business and protect yourself as your business grows. Stephanie says the bundle is the best out there right now for anyone that has an online business. By the way, you can join the Ultimate Bundle affiliate program once you're in it, and you can share it so you can make money for your referrals. Christina says, you guys will not be disappointed. This is an invaluable resource to my business. And Kate here said, you found me when I wasn't even looking. I ended up paying $2,000 and I couldn't be happier with the purchase. Now, you also might be wondering, can I just do this on my own? You really can't find the stuff on your own because it doesn't exist online, but also the amount of time it's going to take you. And I still don't think we would have the know-how necessarily, unless you're a lawyer, to set everything up. You'll also be able to knock this stuff out really easily with all our resources and support. Like Amy here said, she said she's glowing right now thanks to us, and that she was so fearful of not following the right steps and being protected that she was keeping everything really small. But she purchased the bundle and followed step by steps, and now she has her business and website up and running. She feels at ease and has a sense of confidence that I haven't had in a long time. Now, you might also be wondering, what about 2 years from now when your business changes? Will you still be legally covered then? Yes, because updates are included. And Brittany said it's everything you need, no question worth the startup cost, although the extended payment plan was incredibly helpful for a new business owner. She keeps referring back to it over and over. And when I reached out to her to ask if it was okay to share this testimonial for our workshop, she said, this testimonial still rings true. I'm about to launch a new course and I have it set on my calendar to get it legal and refer to the bundle this week. Now, if you're wondering if my bundle is the best for you or whether maybe you should shop around, all I can say is that there are over 3,500 people in it. And Linda here says it's the best legal bundle on the planet. So I'm going to go with Linda. I also thought I'd share this note that I got from somebody in online business who said that she had actually purchased from one of my competitors and then said the two don't even compare. I was never able to use hers because it was so boilerplate with no explanation for what anything meant. That experience contributed to my hesitation to try the bundle because I was too afraid of falling for another too good to be true scenario, but the Ultimate Bundle is not that at all. I love your video walkthroughs and how the templates clearly outline what needs to be personalized to your specific business. Now, if you're wondering, I don't really know if this is like what my business needs, how do I know without consulting an attorney first? Well, Nicole here said that it covers all the bases she was worried about with her small business, plus some. She was more confident about promoting her business and less worried about the legal concerns, and it's led to an increase in sales. All right, so the Ultimate Bundle gives you everything that you need to legally protect your online business, to grow it with confidence. You might have some questions for me outside of the questions that we're going to go to in the Q&A in a second. Oftentimes people will ask, is the Ultimate Bundle for me if I haven't started my business yet? Yes, a lot of people will use the Ultimate Bundle to actually start their business. And yes, it counts as a business expense. Even if you haven't registered yet, you'll be able to count it once you do. So that's important. Question number 2, what if I've been operating my business so far without legal protection? Is it too late for me to get legit now? No, you can get it now. It's better late than never, because it's not helping you to wait. And so you really need to get this kind of stuff in place so that now we can just move forward. How quickly can I get the templates set up and start using them? You'll get instant access. They take 15 minutes or less to fill out, so right away. Here's Kim, for example. All within a week, she got all this stuff done inside the bundle, and people are able to knock this stuff out just sometimes in a series of hours, a few things. It depends how much you have to do. So series of hours, series of days. Will the ultimate bundle teach me how to register an LLC? Yes. Read a contract that you have to sign? Yes. Hire people? Yes. Set up an affiliate program? Yes. And get business insurance set up? Yes, absolutely. How does it compare with other legal template packs with training on the market? Well, for one, I don't think there's anything else quite like it. You also get support from me inside the community. Plus, you can email me if you need to. You get continued access to this, so I don't cut you off. I keep it updated at no cost to you. So there's no additional fees. Like once you pay, you're in. That's it. There's no additional fees or anything. And I also just think we're kind of known for having really cozy vibes. I'm pretty chill, pretty laid back. I think I also teach a lot about business, which other people don't do. And I've built a multi-7-figure business myself. So I don't know how many other people can say that. I don't think you can learn this information for free on your own. I'll just say that. Why invest now instead of a month or two? Well, I would say right now, it's just because, for one, what is waiting doing? I don't know. And I want you to embody that future-proofing mindset. But 2 is because I really want you to get the bonuses. So you get the $400 off. You could, if you can buy by Wednesday, you get a live call with me. You get 3 free additional legal templates. You get my email marketing training. So there's so much for you to get this week. I personally would not wait. Also, actually, I just want to go back for a second. The other reason why you shouldn't wait is because you want to get your business expenses in by December 31st. So if you already have a business registered, you need to spend any of the money that you want to spend now, between now and December 31st, in order for it to reduce your taxable income. If you haven't registered your business yet, you can still purchase the ultimate bundle now, and you can count it next year when you form your business, if you form your business next year. So either way, it works out. Okay, Brooks said, I'm unclear on collecting sales tax on services versus digital products. I'm not currently collecting sales tax. My business is registered in Connecticut, but I'm operating in New York. Okay, so first off, Brooke, we want to make sure your business is registered in the right place, because if you're operating in a state, you have to be registered there. So that would be the first thing. Second thing is, inside the bundle, I actually have a sales tax resource for you to go on and figure out if you owe sales tax or not. Last but not least, I would say that you want to talk with your accountant if they are familiar with it, but often people are not, but we could try. So hopefully that helps a little bit, but that's my answer on that one. Stephanie said, a scope of practice a mindset or a physical document that needs to be drafted? So neither, I would say. It's actually a way of acting. So it's not really a mindset either, because it is something you have to understand and embody, but it's something that you do through your actions. So you need to learn how to talk about what you do and say, like, I am a blank, and this is how I work with people. I don't work with people like that. You also need to be trained to understand when it comes up in conversation. So you might have done all the things you were supposed to do, but now you're in a client session and somebody says to you something that's outside your scope of practice. You need to learn how to cut it off and say, sorry, that's outside. And then you need to also learn how to, like, what your next steps, how to navigate it, right? So yeah. Yeah, sure. Lori said, will you share more about what you share in the trademarking in the bundle? So I teach you what trademarks are, what kind of things in your business you can and cannot trademark. A lot of people misunderstand that. I teach you about registration timing, the pros and cons to registering, and what some alternatives are to registering. So if you don't register, or it's not the right time, or it's not in your budget right now, what else can you do? But also, if you join this week, you also get my trademark training. So in that trademark bonus training, it's actually a video tutorial of me filing my own trademark in real time and just talking you through it. I also give you a training on how to file a copyright as well. That's what you do to protect your content. Yeah. Serenai said, "Do you have something separate for a pet health coach?" I don't have anything separate, but people in the bundle are pet health coaches. I have like vets, people who do like pet health education. So they're definitely in there for sure. Yep. Okay, cool. So let me know in the comments if you have joined the Ultimate Bundle. Thank you so much for being here. Please, please, please send me an email if you have any questions at all. I'm going to go take a walk with my dog Hudson before the sun goes down, and then I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna answer all your questions. So email me at sam@samvanderwielen.com. I'll put it here one more time. I have a crazy last name, so you want to maybe copy and paste if you have any questions. Oh, thanks, Leanne. I'll see you all later. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Terms podcast. Make sure to follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. You can also check out all of our podcast episodes, show notes, links, and more at samvanderwielen.com/podcast. You can learn more about legally protecting your business and take my free legal workshop, 5 Steps to Legally Protect and Grow Your Online Business at samvanderwielen.com. And to stay connected and follow along, follow me on Instagram at samvanderwielen and send me a DM to say hi. Just remember that although I am an attorney, I am not your attorney, and I am not offering you legal advice in today's episode. This episode and all of my episodes are informational and educational only. It is not a substitute for seeking out your own advice from your own lawyer. And please keep in mind that I can't offer you legal advice. I don't ever offer any legal services, but I think I offer some pretty good information.